Hello, today I'm going to teach you how to make this. And sorry about the poor quality. I'm working on that. Okay, first oscillator, you want Groan 1. Alright, put the wavetable position so it's pointing towards the T in WT. Take it down 2 octaves. Alright, and a little trick to that, you can hold the Alt option button and it'll go an octave at a time. Alright, intensity, you want it pointing about right there. Alright, and don't worry about the modulation on it, we'll get to that later. Second oscillator, you want deep throat. Alright, put the wavetable position about right there, and then turn it to bend minus and pull the intensity all the way down. Alright, and Groan 1 is bend plus. Third oscillator, you don't need it. Alright, modulation, we're going to put the phase on 2 and bring it all the way down. Alright, keep the pitch where it is at 0, and you want to bring one of your macro controls. It doesn't have to be the third one, but that's just how it worked out for me. Put it on every pitch for the first and second oscillator and the modulation. Bring it down half an octave, or whatever you feel comfortable with. It really doesn't matter, just as long as you're happy with it. Alright, filter 1, we want a double notch filter. Alright, and we want the cutoff about right there, pointing straight left. Resonance, we want pointing right in between the E and S in resonance. Alright, and then throw the volume all the way up. Bring this all the way up, and this all the way down. Alright, now we're going to be working in the band reject filter. Pull the volume all the way up. Put the cutoff so it's pointing right at the O. And then bandwidth all the way to the right. Resonance, you don't want a whole lot. Just put it between the E and the S so it's pointing there. Alright. That gets your filter set up. Now we want inserts. I did a sine shaper, pointing dry wet right there, and then the drive pointing just before the D. Alright, and then insert 2, I put in a hard clipper. Leave the dry wet alone, it should be 50-50. Then bring the drive a little past the D, so it's pointing about right here. Okay, now let's get the effects. I did a Bronner tube, pointing pretty much straight to the left, and then putting the drive a little past the E. Then you want a dimension expander, bring it all the way, almost all the way down, so it's pointing at maybe the third tick. And then EQ, I bring the high shelf down a little bit so it's staring in between the G and the H. Frequency all the way down. Boost pointed at the B, and low shelf pointed at the L. Alright, now time for modulation. I chose a performer, and click right here, drag all the way until you just have 2. Then load up your curves. I did that one right there, and this one right here, and then I took this one right here and put it right down here. So now you can use So you kind of got that growl, and then you got like a, I don't know, like a thumping machine gun type thing. Alright, and so what you want to do is bring your performer, and by the way, if you hold the shift button while you drag it places, see, it'll stay with it. And then if you let go of shift and click, it goes right on. So that'll help you out a lot with this. It really makes it a lot easier than going back and forth, dragging, clicking, and all that. It's terrible. Okay, so you want to drag that performer modulation to the intensity on both your oscillators, and you want to drag it to your phase. Alright? Now with the first oscillator, just pull it all the way down. With the second oscillator, and just find the sweet spot. You'll all have a different, feeling that you're going for. I put mine a little bit over a quarter way. And then for your phase, you really don't need much, just so it's barely showing, or else it's gonna sound kind of whack, which that might be what you're going for, who knows. But I didn't put a lot on there. Then drag it up on your double notch cutoff so it's halfway. Leave the rest of it alone. Then on your band reject, drag it so it's a little over 3/4 on the cutoff, and then bring it all the way down on your bandwidth. That'll give you a really nice, it'll give you all your movement. It gives you that nice gritty sound too. Also, what gives you a gritty sound is if you take your performer modulation, put it on the dry wet of your sine shaper and your hard clipper, bring the sine shaper a little bit before 3/4 of the way, and the hard clipper 3/4 of the way. Okay, it's pretty simple. Voicing, I've got it on monophone. And then always trigger, none of this, it's only got one voice. Oscillator, I'm sorry. You want to restart your gate, and then bring your glide to equal, and then point a little over a quarter way, if you want it. I like it. You can't really tell all that much unless you bring it a lot farther up. But, I just keep mine. There. Okay. So, you want to bring one of your macros. I've got most of them to the shape, because when I bring it over to this, it can get a little bit muddy. So I took the same macro that I'm using to automate the shape of my performer, and I put it on the cutoff, dragged it down just a little bit on the double notch and a little bit on the resonance. Then I brought it up a little bit on the band reject cutoff and a little down on the bandwidth. Also, I brought it down a little bit on the resonance as well. And that just kind of helps clear up the muddy sound. But again, it's all in what you want to do with it. And that's pretty much it to the sound. It's really not that complex, but if you drag this down, you can get some pretty nasty growls. So, that's it. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your new plugin preset.